Hey guys, this is Coach Willis again. Just doing our second installment of some extra video learning for you. So today we have finished. Hopefully, you have finished World War I, and you are now moving on to the Great Depression. Well, there's a whole time span that we really don't talk about in the Great Depression unit, but it's the time between World War I and World War and the Great Depression, and that's the Roaring Twenties. And so what we have here is the legacy of the 1920s, and lots of things went on during that time. Lots of economic prosperity, new ideas, new dance fads, changing values in society, and personal freedom. You also had times like prohibition and stuff like that. Most of the social changes that were going on lasted for a long time. But because it's called the Roaring Twenties and you had a lot of economic prosperity, that is going to be short-lived, and that's what's going to lead us to the Great Depression. So the Great Depression was a time kind of similar to what's going on in today's society that we see during the pandemic and during the economic downturn that we're facing right now. And the kind of the spark or the mark of the beginning of this Great Depression happened with the stock market on Black Tuesday, October 29th, 1929. And the stock market crashed, similar to what it did at the beginning of this pandemic. Loss of $30 billion signaled the beginning of the Great Depression. And I want you to look at this graph, and you can see, go to today and try to find you a graph of the stock market in the last month. Would look very, very similar to what we see here. And you can see that it was at a big high right here in 1929. And it ended up by 1932 going down almost to zero. And so we're not at that point. We're still much better than that, but there was some issues. Now, the cause of the Great Depression were lots of different things, like tariffs and war debt from World War I, cut down on the foreign market for American goods. They didn't want to buy American goods, so trade was not very good. There was a crisis in the farm industry that we talked about before. The creation of new industrial machines caused the farming costs of farming and the prices for farm goods to go down dramatically. There was easy credit, so people were going out and taking lots and lots of loans, but you got to pay those back. And there was a big unequal distribution of income. That means that there was a big disparity between the rich and the poor. More than 70% of the population earned less than $2,500 a year. Now we're going to look at some pictures and things of stuff that we see, but there was a lot of hardship and suffering during the Great Depression. So we had depression in the cities. People were forced out of their homes. They lost their homes. And they ended up having to move to these shanty towns that were being built on the outskirts of towns that were just, if you look at some of these just horrible conditions that people were forced to live in. Okay, you have some more pictures here that are about, jobless men can't keep going. We can't take care of our own. You had food lines where people were, lining up for food. Still happening today. You can see it on the news. Whenever you watch it, there's people looking for free food because they've lost their jobs. This is also known as the time of the Dust Bowl. Because the cost of farming products, the crops has gone down so much, farmers thought that to help that, they needed to produce more so they can make money. Well, that had multiple effects because we all know about supply and demand. Whenever there's a whole bunch of supply out there, the price is not going to be very high. And so they kind of cost themselves, but it also did a lot of damage to the farmland. Caused a severe drought, And this led to something called the Dust Bowl. Dust storms pretty much took control of the Great Plains. And here's where we're looking at here. So there's a couple of questions here. Which states were in the region known as the Dust Bowl? So we can see that Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, even parts of Nebraska, were in the Dust Bowl. And so why might most of the migrants who left the Dust Bowl have traveled west? Well, think about it. If there's all these problems here in this area known as the Dust Bowl, people are going to leave. And that's what they did. So people had to struggle a lot to survive. Over 300,000 transients or hobos wandered the country, hitching rides on cars and boxcars and in trains and that kind of thing. There was really no direct relief like we have today, like they gave money to like a stimulus check to people, $1,200. There was none of that going on from the government back then. No reason to, didn't have to at that point. Hoover was the president during the time, and he believed that government should do nothing and let the economy fix itself. Hoover thought that individuals should help themselves and not depend on the government. Lots of people think that as well, even today. But Hoover began to meet with people like bankers and business leaders and labor leaders and that kind of thing. And he urged them to work together to revive the economy. But didn't work. The economy got worse. This is, if you look down here at the bottom, this is one of the most famous pictures of the Great Depression. The woman with the baby. Just shows it's a real picture, and it shows the devastation of the time. People responded. People expressed their frustration, and they blamed Hoover for it. Farmers destroyed some food or refused to work at all. People without homes began to call their shanty towns Hoovervilles, kind of as a thing to make fun of Hoover. And so Hoover's going to do some things. He's going to come back. He's going to try to fix some stuff. He's going to take a more active role. He began a program of major public works, building roads, bridges, and dams to provide jobs. One of these programs was responsible for building the bleachers at FMS. It's called the Civilian Conservation Corps. Boulder Dam was built. This is in Nevada. So now it's called Hoover Dam, but it was built to provide jobs, but also provided electricity, flood control, and water supply to the seven western states. They also did some things to try to fix the problem. Okay, a lot of these things are the beginning of what we call the New Deal. And so it was an attempt to help solve the problems that the Great Depression created. And the first one was called the Federal Home Loan Bank Act, where Hoover appealed to Congress to pass a series of measures to reform banking. And so what they tried to do is lower mortgage rates for homeowners, allow farmers to refinance their farms so they wouldn't lose it. And so this was one thing to try to at least give the farmers some help. There was another thing called the Reconstruction Finance Corporation. Hoover, this was his most ambitious economic measure. And what he did was he authorized $2 billion for emergency financing for banks so they wouldn't go out of business, life insurance companies, railroads, and other large businesses. And you see that today. The same thing. They're doing the same thing that they did in history today, like giving bailouts to some banks and some small businesses, giving money, loans, grants to these small businesses. They've gave money to the airlines, so the airlines would not go out of business because nobody is allowed to travel. And so Hoover believed that the money would trickle down to the average citizen through job growth and higher wages. This is called trickle down economics. This was made famous by Ronald Reagan in the 1980s. And this is the format that a lot of conservatives use, that you give aid to big business, and big business is going to let that money trickle down to the workers. So this is the Great Depression. Just a second, I'm going to be back. Hold on. After a short pause, I wanted to show you some pictures from the Great Depression. This is that same stock market graph that I showed you. But here are some things about, wanting to work. That's the thing that people wanted to work. People also made large bank runs. Whenever they would hear that a bank was about to go out of business, people would run in and try to take all their money out, because it's not like today where there was insurance. If the bank went out of business and you didn't get your money, it was gone. It was just gone, and you couldn't get it back. So here's just some pictures of people's lives. If you notice their faces, look how sad they all are. It's how people lived whenever they were booted out of their homes because they couldn't afford their rent. There was not just, the Depression didn't happen just here in the United States. It happened all over the world, even in Canada, Europe. Saw lots of those things. Here's, upstairs bedroom of a family that was living on relief. Their whole family may have lived in that upstairs little loft. This is men waiting in line for food. Free cup of coffee and donuts for the unemployed. So businesses tried to help, similar to what's happening today. Hopefully ours won't last quite as long as this one did. People slept where they could whenever they lost their home. They became homeless. We talked about just a minute ago about people taking off and just leaving and moving, trying to find work. This is a migrant camp. People would go and try to find jobs somewhere else, and they would just pop up these migrant camps to live in. People in the cities did anything to make money, like selling apples out of the back of their truck just to make money, just to have a job. Here's a picture of a dust storm, a wall of dust that's approaching a Kansas town. Here's another one. And then the New Deal happens. And so the New Deal was, like I said, an attempt to solve the problems of the Great Depression. So I will leave you with that and let you just do a little looking at that and going back and maybe listening to some of the details. The next video that I will be doing is World War II, which is what's going to pop up after the Great Depression. So hope you have a good week, and keep up the good work. Bye.